The purpose of this call is to inform our partners of the current situation and ongoing fire season. These calls are meant to fluctuate depending on the activity that we see. If there's not a lot going on in the state, we will suspend the calls.
You want me to put
but
headphones on?
Seeing how we currently have an incident management team out in the field, we thought it was best to go ahead and start this routine and get into the swing of things for fire season 2025. Real quick, I'm going to do a roll call of participants just to ensure that they are on the call and that you all know who's going to be
You might
speaking.
want to hear it, but if you don't, I can put it.
And again, if you could please mute your devices if you're not asked to be speaking, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. We're going to start with Northwest Oregon area. Robbie LaFay.
Blake, Robbie LaFay, Assistant Area Director for Northwest.
Thank you, Robbie. Southern Oregon area.
Good morning, Dave Larson's here.
Hey, Dave. Eastern Oregon area.
Good morning, Gina Miner, Assistant Area Director for Eastern Oregon area.
Thank you. Let's see here. Aviation Resources.
Present.
All right, Sarah Pratt, thank you. And then Safety Manager, Eric.
Present.
Okay. And then our wonderful and overly talented Teresa Alcock, TZA.
Good morning.
All right, thank you, TZA. We'll go ahead and get started here. TZA, I'll kick it over to you.
There's only 32 people in it right now.
I'd ask for folks to go ahead and mute their microphones as we go here. Appreciate it. Yeah, so folks, my name's TZA. I'm going to provide the fire weather outlook starting this Monday morning fire briefing. And pretty thorough this time, but I'll try to blast through it as usual. And if you have any questions, you can email me later on that. So in this briefing, we're going to cut right to the chase here with the National Significant Fire Potential Outlook, and then go ahead into the 3-month outlook here. And then I wanted to just remind folks about Pete Parsons' seasonal climate forecast, which confirms everything that we're going to be talking about today. I wanted to take a quick look at the soil moisture because on the west side, it's contributing to the drought outlook. And then we'll go into the drought. Take a final kind of look at the snowpack and the snow water equivalent. We've been doing a lot of briefings on this through the spring, and we're about the end of it for now for the snow water meltout. Then we'll take a look at the fire danger indices put together by our fire danger technical specialists throughout the districts. And then take a quick look at the Storm Prediction Center's fire weather and thunderstorm outlook, and then go ahead into some of the forecasted precipits and temperature and humidity look for the week, and then go out to the end of June. And then we'll round it out this time with the Northwest Coordination Center's significant fire potential, which gives us a little bit of a wind cautionary statement. So right off the bat, Northwest Coordination Center nailed it with the Central Oregon above normal significant wildland fire potential in June, and we've already seen this activity. And then going into July, August, and September, east side of Oregon in July lights up, and then really a large swath of the Pacific Northwest and other northwestern states are lit up for above normal potential. And then with the 3-month seasonal outlook, June, July, August, above normal temperatures, below normal precipits. And as I looked ahead at their forecast, the Climate Prediction Center's forecast, this above normal temperature goes all the way through October and November. So just brace for impact on that. And Pete Parsons, beloved Pete Parsons, he does his seasonal climate forecast, and he's nailing it already. Bullseye of high pressure over the Northwest, Vancouver Island, Olympic Peninsula, so forth, and calling for above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation through the season. So average ridging, above average ridging going on. And what Pete does is look back in time at years of similar activity. Say, for example, the the El Nino. We're at the ENSO neutral stage right now, where the sea surface temperatures off the coast of South America are coming up from a La Nina cooler status in the winter and back to normal. And he found the years 67, 2006, and 2017 more or less closely matched what we're seeing nowadays. And you can see in 2006, we had above normal, above average acres burned statewide. And in 2017, we had about average acres burned statewide, about 700,000 acres out of all the agencies statewide. So above normal and ridging. Wanted to draw your attention to the precipitation map at the bottom right, far below normal precipitation. And that leads into this soil moisture. I've been kind of tracking the soil moisture since about April or so. And looking at it in May, we started to really dry out on the west side of the Cascades. And even with the reprieve we had in mid-May, a little bit of moisture, we came back into dry conditions about June 5th or so, really starting to dry out along the coast and the southern coast there. And the map on the right shows where we are as of yesterday afternoon. So the west side of the state, the soil moistures are very, very low. And that leads us right into the drought. In April of this year, we were declared drought-free, probably just barely. But then even with the moisture in May that we got, we're abnormally dry, especially the west side, and then beginning to go into moderate drought. And Northeast Oregon's been very dry for a while. So that's the status as of yesterday. And the drought is expected to persist in the northwest of the state and become more drought in through the Willamette Valley going south along the western Cascades. Snow water, just wanted to draw your attention that the snow melt has been a lot faster since the peak about April 1st. We had a pretty steep drop off. You can see the effect in May when we had some of that moisture. It helped a tiny, tiny bit, but we're still at a snowpack status that's much lower than historical normals for the date. Switch gears a little bit to the ODF significant fire potential. And this is a product developed by our Fire Environment Working Group with our fire danger technical specialists around the state. And what they do is analyze the climatological and fire history and the large fire cost history in all of our districts. And they determine these thresholds where we would see large costly fires around ODF districts. And throughout the end of April and into early May, we were already in moderate conditions. And now we're starting to see the high potential as well. And the Dalles has been as extreme. So this data changes daily. And what I do is I go around and just grab a sample from some of our districts. This time I'm looking at North Cascade, which hasn't been declared in fire season yet, South Cascade and Southwest Oregon. And these charts show the ERC, which is the amount of heat that might come out of a fire, and tracks long-term drought on our large fuels throughout the season. And these charts show us, like, the blue line is last year's data, so we can compare. And then the gray lines in the back show the minimum, average, and the maximum values over about the last 10 years or so, 10-year minimum history that our folks look at. And then the red line is showing the daily value coming in. And this is the ERC. And so we're looking at just on the west side and the east side as well. Starting at May 1st, we were above average conditions all around the state. And you could see the effect on the red line when we had the May precipitation, a little bit cooler temperatures, but it's been on the steady increase since we've had that. And you can see the peak around June 11th or so, which is kind of the same timing as the Rowena fire. So just another tracking mechanism here. East side, just looking at the Dalles, you can see that peak around June 11th or so, June 11, 12, 13. And Klamath has been in better shape. They had a lot of moisture over the winter. Northeast Oregon, pretty dry up there, already at maximum levels, 100% percentile. Looking at the very large fuels, the 3 to 8 inch diameter fuels, again, both sides of the Cascades here, we're looking at below normal fuel moisture, and you can see the effect of the mid-May shower activity helped us out a little bit, but then on the steady decline all the way down to minimums. Same thing, taking a look at the Dalles in Northeast Oregon, very, very dry. Klamath, a little bit better shape, but still below normal. So the Storm Prediction Center is calling for elevated fire weather that's going to continue Monday today for the Columbia Basin. And we're looking at some west winds coming through. There's going to be larger gusts, 45-mile-an-hour gusts coming through the Columbia Gorge, and low humidities, 15 to 25%. Still got some lingering thunder shower activity from the southeast of the state up through the northeast. And just looking at the thunderstorm probabilities, there's going to be some moisture coming in. We look at the regular thunderstorm probabilities and the dry thunderstorms, and the percentages of the potential for dry is much lower for the storms that are going to be coming through, which we'll talk about next. So we've got a trough moving in slowly from the northwest this week. It's going to bring a little bit of thunderstorm potential, not a lot of lightning with it, and some moisture. We've got higher chances of wetting rain Friday and Saturday, probably 1/4 inch, maybe, coming in from the northwest up through the state here. So west side of the Cascades, that'll be well appreciated, and some residuals by Saturday night going up through Northeast Oregon. Temperatures are going to cool off a little bit, bringing those cooler temperatures really starting to sink in a little bit Friday, Saturday. Humidities, east side 20s to 30%, and southeast very low teens. This is the usual pattern here, but just from some of the things I've looked at, the overnight recovery still seem reasonable. Okay, so let's go look out to the future here. Just get us through toward the end of June here. You can see on the left side, the temperature outlook shows that trough moving through by June 21st through 25th. It's already kind of passed over into the east side and above normal precipits. That's going to help out. And then looking out through the end of June, lingering below normal temperatures and hopefully above normal precipits. The Northwest Coordination Center is calling for an elevated fire environment by about Wednesday for Central Oregon again. This is kind of the brown area on the map on the left. And just wanted to mention that there's the general winds are going to continue to be elevated on the east slopes of the Cascades. Okay, so just in summary, similar prior years showed ridging across the west. We learned that from Pete Parsons. The snowpack's melting quickly. The soil moisture deficits concerning, fuel moistures are much drier. And after mid-May, we had those cool shots of showers and another through the end of June. The forecasts are calling for warmer and drier conditions through the full season. And just given the conditions of fire activity, just consider 2025 an active season. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, really good stuff there, TZA. Appreciate the thoroughness. It's always great to have you on. Moving to current fire situation, currently showing a national fire preparedness level of 2, with a regional fire preparedness level 2, and ODF fire activity level 1. Currently showing 11 large fires in Oregon and 5 in Washington, with 1 incident management team currently deployed. That's ODF Team 2 to Rowena, and I won't get into that. I don't want to steal EOA's thunder there. Let's see here. Team 1 is back in rotation. Team 2 is currently deployed, and Team 3 is currently up and available. Current fire stats year to date, currently showing 202 total fires on ODF protection for 998 total acres. Of note, there have been 11 lightning fires for 5 acres. So human-caused fires really pulling their weight there in terms of acreages, something to be mindful of when we do our prevention messaging out in the field. In terms of statewide fires, currently showing 382 fires for 15,451 acres. So if you're doing math there, 202 of the 382 fires in the state are on ODF protection, but only, let's see here, out of the 15,451 acres burnt, only 998 of that is ODF acreage. One fire of note, again, the Rowena fire. I'm not going to get into that too deep because I believe Gina is going to provide us an update there. And so with that, we're going to get into area reports, starting with Northwest Oregon area, Robbie LaFay.
Morning, everybody. Robbie LaFave, Assistant Area Director for Northwest Oregon area. My briefing will probably be fairly short this morning. I'll give you an update on our districts and where we're at. So West Oregon District enters fire season today. And so their industrial fire protection level, you'll hear that as an acronym of IFPL is 1, and the public use restriction is low. The Northwest Oregon area FPA will enter fire season on the 23rd, so next Monday. And then Clackamas, Marion, North Cascade is meeting this week, and we'll have an update on when they plan on entering fire season after that. Across the area, most of our seasonals started today, so onboarding is underway, and we're doing all the required training to get them up to speed. That did make it challenging last week when we had team deployments and asking for strike teams across the state where we just didn't have our seasonals on yet. And so to be this early into the season, I think it caught everyone a little bit off guard, but we're catching up and ready to go. And then we have fire school starts on June 23rd, so next Monday. At that fire school, there'll be over 200 ODF staff. We also have landowners that are part of our community, and local rural fire departments will congregate at Sweet Home High School for 4 days of classroom learning, all the way from entry-level firefighting up into the div soup level, where they'll be doing that kind of training, and it'll be followed by a live fire exercise on the 27th. And that includes all of our districts in Northwest, including South Fork. I think South Fork is sending all of their staff there either to learn or to help be teachers. And then we also have SOA going there as well, Southern Oregon area. So it really is a joint fire school, and it's something that we should be proud of as an agency. So you'll be seeing that in the media next week. And that's all for our update for Northwest.
Yeah, good stuff, Robbie. Thank you. Moving to Southern Oregon area, Dave.
All right, good morning, everyone. Dave Larson, Southern Oregon Area Director. Like Robbie, this report will be fairly short. All Southern Oregon Area districts are in fire season. We've had no accidents or injuries to report. Activity has been light across the area. Fire danger is moderate in the interior and looking at low on the coast, and all districts are in the IFPL level 1 area wide. Weather is going to be in the 80s inland, mid 60s to low 70s over on the coast. We are looking at below normal temperatures and above normal precipitation by the end of the week. Most new seasonal firefighters will be on and in fire school and finishing that next week as well. And we do anticipate a warm up coming towards the end of the month to getting back to more warm and dry conditions. That is the end report, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Dave? Okay, not seeing any hands raised. Thank you, Dave. Moving to EOA, Gina.
Good morning. I'm Gina Miner. I'm the Assistant Area Director for Eastern Oregon area. All districts in EOA are currently in fire season. We're in moderate fire danger in Klamath Lake District and Northeast Oregon District, high fire danger in Walker Range and Central Oregon District, with the Dalles being an extreme. IFPL 2 in Wasco and Hood River counties there. EOA responded to 12 statistical fires and multiple mutual aid fires over the last week. One of those being the Rowena fire, which I'll give an update on in just a second. And as of this week, our seasonal firefighters are all going to be on and engaged in their training. The Rowena fire located in the Dalles unit in Central Oregon District is currently near 3,600 acres and 24% containment. ODF Team 2 is engaged there along with OSFM. The cause of the fire is under investigation, and if you have tips on that, please contact ODF as we are the investigating agency. Winds this week will challenge the fire alarms, but the team will continue to do their best to hold them. Our hearts do go out to the affected community, and evacuations are still in effect. You can find that information on the Wasco County Sheriff's webpage, and there is a Red Cross shelter located at the Dalles Middle School. And any livestock needs or anything like that can go to the Wasco County Fairgrounds. I-84 is open, but if you're traveling in that area, be aware that there are crews working near the roadway. And Meyer State Park is currently closed to the public. With the deployment of our first team for the 2025 fire season so early, it speaks to the fire season we see ahead of us. We did have a couple minor safety incidents, but we hope to keep that number low. RFPAs have responded to 26 fires so far this year, with the largest one being less than 100 acres. So they continue to do good work there, and we appreciate them. And lastly, I just wanted to say thank you to all of our partners and all agencies for being part of the complete and coordinated system. Without us all working together, we cannot continue to do the great work we all do to protect this beautiful state. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
I'll hold for questions for Gina. Not seeing any hands. Thank you, Gina. Down on to crew resource availability. Currently showing 482 Type 2 crews available within our IRA system, and showing 6 crews deployed, and all 6 of those crews are currently on the Rowena fire. Moving real quick to aviation resource updates. Sarah Prout.
Thanks, Blake. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Prout, and I serve as the ODF Aviation Coordinator. This season is starting off busy for our program. This year's Severity program has 18 aircraft. We have added 2 fixed-wing air attack platforms to ensure aerial supervision is readily available for the season ahead. Currently, the following Severity aircraft are on contract. Type 3 helicopter 7 Alpha Bravo with Helitack crew is currently on a call when needed agreement in Klamath Falls. They're assisting with initial attack in response to the recent widespread lightning. The helicopter will transition to John Day, its designated preposition, early next week. The single-engine Scoopers 431 and 432, are on and available at the Columbia Gorge Regional Airport near the Dalles. Single-engine air tankers, Tanker 801 and Tanker 851, are on and available at the Prineville Airport. Additional Severity aircraft will be starting contract early next week. The agency MMA was on mission late last week and through the weekend supporting early detection of fires across several districts in EOA. The crew did detect several fires, and I'll be sharing detailed statistics with this group at the next briefing. For awareness, the MMA will be undergoing maintenance today through Friday the 27th. This period may be shorter than expected, and we'll keep the field posted on availability. So far, call when needed resources have been readily available, but we do expect competition to steadily increase as fire activity increases in the western states. Aircraft statistics will become available and will be shared at future briefings. Pending any questions, that's all I have, Blake.
Thank you, Sarah. Any questions for the aviation group? Not seeing any hands. We're going to move to safety. Eric.
Thanks, Blake. Eric Panetta, safety consultant, Department of Forestry. We had a couple incidents on the Rowena. We had a smoke inhalation and a laceration to a hand. That's where a yellow sheet was sent out. Individual was cutting some saran wrap on a hose bundle and it slipped and cut their hand. So let's make sure that we're having the proper PPE on when we're doing that. And if we find out our tool is dull, let's make sure that we're using the proper equipment to do that. We also had a poison oak incident, a trailer detachment that was mechanical. It had nothing to do with how they put the equipment on, but it was equipment failure. And then a dog bite that happened. And that is all that I have in to report.
Thank you, Eric. Hot topics for the protection staff, just general awareness. We had one last push in terms of supporting our out-of-state partners. That's quickly coming to an end as those resources are wrapping up their assignments, demobilizing, and heading back into the state. Real quick, I would like to highlight the Northwest Compact website. It is found at what is that, TZA? NWFFC.org, I believe. That is a website developed and hosted by the Oregon Department of Forestry that links together all of our compact partners. Feel free to dive in and give it a look if you'd like to kind of get an inside look at how we share resources with our closest core partners. Additionally, I'd like to note that we did just complete 2 additional state-to-state agreements, both on the East Coast. And so that should enable us to quickly grab resources when we're maxed out here on the West Coast and they're not in fire season on the East Coast. So the reciprocity there is such that during our shoulder seasons, i.e., October and later, and then in the spring, when they're experiencing their fire seasons, we're able to send our folks to kind of knock the rust off and get back into the swing of things for fire season. And then same goes for them. When we're in the heart of our fire season, they can send folks over and help us out and get their folks experience on larger Western fires, vastly different type of fires out west than they experience over on the East Coast. So really good stuff there. All right, we're going to head to Chief Michael Curran, relatively new chief within the Protection Division. This will be the first time that he's addressing the group on this format. But Michael, would you like to close us out?
Yep. Thanks, Blake. So yeah, like Blake said, really just an introduction for myself with all of you. I am the new Fire Protection Division Chief for ODF. Got in the role in the beginning of February. So looking forward to meeting you all and working with you all as I get my feet under me here. Not new to the agency. This will actually be my 20th fire season with ODF, and it really was able to start right out of high school. So got a lot of experience with the agency and working with our core partners. So just a few things from my perspective. First and foremost, really just want to give a shout out to the Central Oregon District, the federal partners that they work with, and the local RFDs. Very challenging response to the Rowena fire, just with the winds they were experiencing and with it being early season, coming off the heels of really the record-breaking 2024 fire season. And to have an early season large fire like we've experienced, especially just with the loss of structures that we've seen so far. Just want to give them a shout out for their professionalism and their response to that fire. Definitely a challenging one there, and just want to thank ODF IMT2 and the OSFM Green Team for the very quick response to be able to relieve our local forces there at the district level so they can get back to their day jobs and the quick work to hopefully get this fire completely under control here soon. So just a shout out to our local folks there. Very good work done last week. Also want to highlight a current meeting that's going on. Blake and I had to step out of for this. Touched on the Northwest Compact and the state-to-state agreements. One of the things we were able to complete last year was a state-to-state agreement with the state of California, in particular CAL FIRE. Really right out the gate, they were able to send us quite a bit of overhead last summer when we needed it. And then we turned around and were able to send quite a bit to them with their early season fire season that they had in January. And they've already sent us some help already for the Rowena fire. And really have a meeting between CAL FIRE leadership and ODF leadership to really try to identify ways for how we can bolster that state-to-state agreement, since we've used it so heavily from the onset of that last summer. So just an awareness that meeting's going on, and really just a true testament of our good partnership that we're continuing to build on with our neighbors down south with CAL FIRE. Blake touched on the fire starts. Really an ask from this entire group. Fire prevention messaging is going to be key with the early season fire season that we are seeing, especially with large fires on the landscape already as well. So really an ask for you all to try to help us in getting the word out, whether that's through working with Keep Oregon Green, whether that's working with ODF, whether that's working with our state fire marshal partners. We've seen an alarming uptick in debris burning fires early this season already, which is a little alarming. But all signs are pointing to a very long duration and pretty severe fire season for us this summer, just given the conditions that we're seeing already. So really an ask from you all just to help us in the fire prevention messaging around the state. So if you have good ideas out there to partner with us, please let us know, because we're really going to need everybody's help in making sure the public is fully aware of the danger that's out there this coming fire season. And last but not least, really just want to ask folks, really, we're going to have to pace ourselves this summer. Like I mentioned earlier, looking at a long duration summer, this will be a marathon, not a sprint. So make sure you all are taking the time off that you need when you feel yourself getting tired or worn out. We're going to be asking a lot from folks again this summer. And really are going to need to rely on all of our staff within the agency and all the partnerships that we have with all the other state agencies that are out there and our federal partners. So just a reminder to this, let's pace ourselves and thank you all for the work that you do in the complete and coordinated system. And kind of moving forward, just for awareness with this meeting, it's going to be something that's going to be a week by week decision until we start to see fire activity pick up. So really just ask folks to be flexible here over the next 3-4 weeks, probably, as we kind of make the decision late week on whether or not we're going to have this meeting the following Monday. And then once we get into the heart of fire season, we'll probably get into that weekly battle rhythm of doing this meeting every week. But for now, just asking for folks' flexibility that it'll be a week by week decision here over the next few weeks. So with that, looking forward to working with you all. And I'll hand it over to Blake.
Yeah, no, Michael, you did really well. I was hoping I could tee you up for that current meeting we're in with CAL FIRE, and you knocked it out of the park. So I appreciate that. Yes, like Michael said, this is going to be a week to week kind of a deal. So stay posted on future invites. Again, that's not the easiest thing for calendar management on your guys' end, but I just appreciate the flexibility for us to be able to add or take off these meetings as needed. Appreciate y'all joining, and might be seeing you next week. Might be seeing you the week after, but I guarantee we'll be having another meeting here sometime soon. So thank you all, and have yourself a good day.